The night was cold. Very cold. The human colony on planet Eros 9 was silent, except for the low hum of power generators far away. Most people were asleep. Curfew had started hours ago. No one was allowed outside after midnight. Inside a small metal room, Ethan Cole sat alone. He was a human engineer. Not a soldier, not a hero. Just a man who fixed broken machines for the colony. His room was simple: one bed, one desk, one heater that barely worked. Ethan rubbed his hands together. "Stupid cold," he muttered. The planet was not friendly to humans. The air was thin. The nights were freezing. Without heaters, no human could survive. Ethan stood up to increase the heater level. Then he heard it. Sound. Soft. Very soft. Like a footstep. Ethan froze. No one should be outside. No one should be inside his room. He slowly turned his head toward the dark corner near the door. Nothing. His heart started beating faster. Maybe it was the metal walls. Maybe the wind. Then the sound came again, a quiet breath. Someone was breathing. Ethan stepped back. "Who's there?" he asked. No answer. The lights flickered once. Just once. And then he saw her. A girl stepped out of the shadows. She looked human. Young, pale. Her dark hair was messy, and her clothes were thin, too thin for this cold. Her body was shaking. Her lips were blue. She raised her hands slowly. "Please," she whispered. "Don't scream." Ethan stared at her. "How did you get in here?" he asked. She did not answer. She looked terrified. Like an animal trapped in a cage. Outside, far away, a loud mechanical sound echoed. Security drones. They were flying over the colony, scanning for movement. The girl heard it too. Her eyes widened with fear. "They are looking for me," she said quietly. Ethan frowned. "Who is looking for you?" he asked. She stepped closer, her legs weak. "I don't have much time," she said. "Please, I just need to hide." Ethan should have pressed the alarm. That was the rule. If you saw something strange, you reported it. If you hid something, you were punished. Sometimes killed, but something stopped him. Maybe it was the way she looked at him. Not like an enemy, not like a threat, just scared. Very scared. "You're freezing," Ethan said. The girl nodded. "My body can't handle this." "Cold," she said. "Not for long." Ethan pointed at the bed. "Sit," he said. She hesitated, then slowly sat on the edge of the bed. Her hands were shaking badly now. Ethan grabbed a thermal blanket and wrapped it around her shoulders. As he did, his hand touched her skin. It was colder than ice. His eyes widened. "That's not normal," he said. She looked away. "I know." Outside, the drone sound grew louder. A red scanning light passed over the small window. The girl suddenly grabbed Ethan's arm. "Please," she whispered. "If they find me, I die." Ethan swallowed. "Who are you?" he asked. She looked up at him. For a second, her eyes changed. Just for a second, they glowed soft silver. Not human at all. Then they went back to normal. Ethan stepped back. "You're not human," he said slowly. "No," she replied. "I'm not." The drone stopped right outside his room. A loud mechanical voice spoke. "Colony resident Ethan Cole, remain still. Routine scan." Ethan's heart felt like it would jump out of his chest. The girl moved closer to him, almost hiding behind his body. "They can sense me," she whispered. "If they scan again, they will know." Ethan looked at the door, then at her, then back at the door. He took a deep breath. "Get behind me," he said. The door scanner beeped. Once, twice. The girl closed her eyes. The heater suddenly shut off. The room temperature dropped fast. The girl gasped in pain. Ethan stepped forward and placed his hand on the door panel. "There's a system error," he said loudly. "My heater just failed again." There was a pause. The scanner beeped again, then stopped. "Error noted," the drone voice said. "Maintenance request logged." The red light moved away. The sound of the drone faded into the night. Silence. Returned. Ethan exhaled slowly. He turned around. The girl had collapsed onto the bed. She was barely conscious. Her lips were shaking. "It's too cold," she whispered. Ethan grabbed another blanket and covered her. She looked up at him weakly. "You saved me," she said. "For now," Ethan replied. He sat on the chair staring at her. "You need to tell me everything," he said. "Because if anyone finds out, we're both dead." The girl nodded slowly. "My name is Lyra," she said. "And if my people find me here, this planet will burn." Ethan's eyes widened. Outside, the cold wind howled, and somewhere in the dark sky above the colony, something was watching. Morning did not bring warmth. Planet Eros 9 never truly warmed. The light from its pale sun only made the cold shadows sharper. Inside Ethan's small room, the heater was still weak, and the air felt heavy. Lyra was awake. She sat on the edge of the bed, wrapped in 2 thermal blankets. Her posture was careful, like she did not trust the ground beneath her feet. Every sound made her tense. Ethan watched her from across the room. "You didn't run," he said. "That means you really have nowhere else to go." Lyra nodded slowly. "If I leave the colony," she said, "I will be hunted. If I stay, I risk you." Ethan crossed his arms. "You already risked me," he replied. "Now start talking." Lyra looked at the floor. Then she took a deep breath. "My species is called the Velari," she said. "We do not live like humans. We rule through control. Through fear." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Sounds friendly," he said. Lyra gave a small, sad smile. "To my people, humans are weak," she continued. "Soft, short-lived, easy to control." Ethan felt a sharp anger rise in his chest. "And you?" he asked. "What do you think?" Lyra looked up at him. "I think humans survive things we could not," she said. "Cold, pain, loneliness." Her eyes moved to the heater. "You live on a world that tries to kill you every day," she added. "And you still build homes." Ethan said nothing. Lyra pulled the blanket tighter around herself. "The Velari can change their outer form," she said. "That is how I look human, but inside, my energy signature is different." "That scanner last night," Ethan said. "It almost caught you." "Yes," Lyra replied. "Your colony technology is primitive, but honest. My people's scanners are far worse." Ethan leaned forward. "Why are they hunting you?" he asked. Lyra hesitated. "Because I refused." "An order," she said. Outside, voices echoed faintly. Colonists walked past, laughing, unaware. "What order?" Ethan asked quietly. Lyra closed her eyes. "To help wipe out a human outpost," she said. Ethan's jaw tightened. "They wanted you to help kill us," he said. "Yes," Lyra replied. "And I said no." Silence filled the room. Ethan stood up and walked toward the small window. He looked at the colony streets below. "You know what happens if anyone finds you here," he said. "They won't care why you ran. They'll only see an alien." "I know," Lyra whispered. She slowly stood up. "I won't force you," she said. "If you want me gone, I will leave." Ethan turned around. "You won't survive 10 minutes outside," he said. Lyra nodded. "I know." There was a loud knock on the door. Both of them froze. Ethan moved fast. "Hide," he whispered. Lyra looked around the room. There was nowhere to go. The knock came again, harder this time. "Ethan Cole," a voice called. "Colony security." Lyra's eyes filled with fear. "They are closer," she whispered. "They can feel me." Ethan grabbed a maintenance jacket and pulled it over her shoulders. "Sit," he whispered. "Don't move. Don't speak." He opened the door slightly. 2 security officers stood outside, armed, alert. "We detected a strange energy spike last night," one officer said. "From this area." Ethan forced a calm smile. "My heater overloaded," he said. It does that when the power grid shifts. The officer looked past him, scanning the room. Lyra lowered her head. The scanner HUMMED. Once. Twice to Ethan. Single quotes S heart pounded. Then the scanner beeped green. No anomaly detected. The officer said. They turned and walked away. The door closed. Lyra collapsed back onto the bed. They are learning, she said softly. My people are improving their search. Ethan sat beside her. You can't stay hidden forever, he said. Lyra looked at him. That's why I came to you, she said. Ethan frowned. Why me? Lyra hesitated. Because humans do something my people cannot understand, she said. What's that? Ethan asked. You protect strangers, she replied. Even when it costs you. She slowly moved closer, her body still shaking from the cold. My species survives by power, she said. Yours survives by choice. She met his eyes. If you keep my secret, she said, I will repay that choice with my life, if needed. Ethan looked at her. An alien, a runaway, a danger, and somehow, a person. Outside, the sky darkened. Again. And far above the colony, unseen ships adjusted their course. The hunt had already begun. The colony lights dimmed at night. That was normal. What was not normal was the silence. Ethan felt it as he lay awake on his bed. The kind of silence that pressed against the ears. The kind that warned something bad was coming. Lyra sat on the floor. Near the heater, knees pulled close to her chest. The weak heat barely reached her. She was still cold. Always cold. They are closer, she said quietly. Ethan did not ask how she knew. He had already learned that, when Lyra said something like that, it was always true. You've been saying that all day, he replied. Nothing has happened. Lyra slowly shook her head. Nothing has happened yet, she corrected. She stood up suddenly and looked toward the ceiling. Ethan followed her gaze. At first, he saw nothing. A faint vibration. The metal walls hummed. Ethan's heart sank. That's not a drone, he said. No, Lyra replied. That is a hunter. Before Ethan could respond, the lights shut off. The room dropped into darkness. Only the emergency glow from the hallway remained, faint and red. A voice echoed outside. Not mechanical. Alive. Double human resident Ethan Cole, it said calmly. We know you are awake. Lyra grabbed Ethan's arm. If they see me, she whispered, they will not leave witnesses. Ethan swallowed hard. He walked toward the door and pressed the intercom button. This is a private living unit, he said. You have no authority here. There was a pause, then a soft laugh. Incorrect, the voice replied. We have full authority over non-human threats. Ethan felt anger rise in his chest. She's not a threat, he said without thinking. Moment the words left his mouth, he froze. Lyra looked at him, eyes wide. Outside, there was silence again. Then the voice spoke, slower now, interesting, it said. You did not deny her presence. The door scanner activated. A deep blue light spread across the metal door. Lyra staggered back. They are scanning on a deeper level, she whispered. I can't hide from this. Ethan looked around the room. There was no time. No plan. Only instinct. He grabbed the emergency power unit from under his desk and slammed it into the wall panel. The lights burst back on. The heater flared to full power. Warning alarms blared through the room. Power surge detected, the system announced. Loudly. Ethan shouted over it. My unit is malfunctioning. He yelled, You're going to cause an explosion. Outside, footsteps moved back. Fast. The scanner light flickered. Then stopped. The door did not open. Several seconds passed. Ethan stood frozen, breathing hard. Lyra slowly lowered herself onto the bed. Her skin was glowing faintly now, silver lines visible beneath it. I'm losing control, she said weakly. The cold, the fear. Ethan rushed to her side. Stay with me, he said. She looked at him. You should leave, she whispered. If they come back, you die. Ethan shook his head. Humans don't run, he said. Not when someone needs help. Lyra stared at him like she was seeing something impossible. No species does that, she said. Ethan grabbed another thermal blanket and wrapped it tightly around her. He sat beside her, blocking her from the door. Minutes passed. Then a new sound echoed through the hallway. Heavy boots. Human boots. Colony security, a rough voice shouted. Unknown alien unit. Stand down. This is a human-controlled sector. There was a sharp metallic noise, then silence. Ethan didn't move. Neither did Lyra. After a while, the intercom crackled again. Ethan Cole, a human officer said. Are you injured? Ethan pressed the button. No, he said. Just scared. Good, the officer replied. Stay inside. We'll handle this. The footsteps moved away. Lyra exhaled slowly. They retreated, she said. For now. Ethan leaned back against the wall, exhausted. They called you a threat, he said. That makes me angry. Lyra turned toward him. My people believe power decides worth, she said. Your people believe choice does. She hesitated. I don't understand that, she admitted. Ethan looked at his shaking hands. I don't understand aliens hunting a scared girl, he said. Lyra gave a weak smile. That is why you are dangerous to them, she said. Ethan frowned. Me? Yes, Lyra replied. Because you do not obey fear. Outside the window, high above the colony, a dark shape moved silently through the clouds. It was not retreating. It was waiting. The danger passed, but the cold stayed. Inside Ethan's room, the heater hummed at full power, yet Lyra still shivered. Her body shook in small, painful waves, like it was fighting a battle it could not win. Ethan watched her closely. You're getting worse, he said. Lyra nodded weakly. My body is failing, she replied. The disguise burns energy. The cold drains it faster. She tried to stand, but her legs gave out. Ethan caught her before she hit the floor. She was light, too. Light and freezing. Her skin felt colder than before. Ethan helped her back onto the bed and wrapped another thermal blanket around her. This should help, he said. Lyra shook her head. Not enough, she whispered. Ethan frowned. Then tell me what will, he said. No secrets now. Lyra closed her eyes for a long moment. When she opened them, they glowed faint silver again. My species survives cold through shared warmth, she said quietly. Direct contact, Ethan stiffened. What kind of contact? He asked. Lyra looked away. Close, she said. Very close. Skin temperature. Heart rhythm. Ethan stood up and stepped back. You should have said this earlier, he muttered. I didn't want to, Lyra replied softly. To my people, warmth is taken, never offered. She looked at him again. But humans ask, she added. So I ask. The room fell silent. The wind outside pressed against the metal walls. Ethan ran a hand through his hair. This isn't simple, he said. I know, Lyra replied. That is why I waited. She tried to pull the blanket tighter around herself, but her hands were weak. If I do nothing, Ethan said slowly, you die. Lyra nodded. Yes. And if I help, he continued, I break colony law. Yes. Ethan let out a short laugh. Humans are really bad at choosing the easy path, he said. Lyra looked confused. You are choosing? She asked. Ethan walked back to the bed. Slide over, he said. Lyra froze. Are you sure? She whispered. No, Ethan replied. But I'm doing it anyway. He sat on the bed, leaving space between them. Come closer, he said. Slowly. Lyra moved like she was afraid the moment would break. She sat beside him, still wrapped in blankets, barely touching his arm. The change was immediate. Her shaking slowed, her breathing steadied. She looked down at her, hands in surprise. Your warmth is strong, she said. Stronger than Valari. Average. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Congratulations, he said. You found a space heater. For the first time, Lyra smiled, a real smile. Small, soft, human. The heater clicked. Adjusting its output, minutes passed. Lyra leaned back slightly, her shoulder resting against Ethan's arm. He tensed for a moment, then relaxed. This is not how my people survive, Lyra said quietly. They conquer environments. They force them to change. And humans? Ethan asked. Lyra looked at the walls, the heater, the blankets. Humans adapt, she said. You endure. Her head tilted toward him. Why? She asked. Why risk this? Ethan thought for a moment. My mother used to say something, he said. She said strength isn't what you can destroy. It's what you refuse to abandon. Lyra was quiet. Then she spoke softly. No Valari would understand that. Outside, a distant sound echoed. Not close, but not far. Lyra stiffened. They are still watching, she said. Waiting for me to weaken. Ethan clenched his jaw. They'll wait a long time, he said. Lyra slowly turned toward him. If they take me, she said, they will interrogate you, hurt you. Ethan met her gaze. Then don't let them take you, he said. Her eyes glowed brighter for a moment. In my culture, she said carefully, sharing warmth is a promise. Ethan swallowed. A promise of what? He asked. Protection, Lyra replied. Loyalty, she hesitated. Sometimes bonding. Ethan took a slow breath. Well, he said, let's survive the night first. Lyra nodded and leaned. Closer, careful, respectful. Her body temperature slowly rose. The silver glow faded. She looked more human than ever. Outside the colony, high above the clouds, alien sensors adjusted their focus. The human was interfering, and that made him dangerous. The attack did not start with noise. That was the first mistake the aliens made. Ethan noticed it because nothing changed. No alarms. No drones. No warning lights. Just silence. Too perfect. Lyra felt it at the same time. She sat up slowly, her body warm now, her strength returning. They are here, she said. Inside the colony, Ethan did not panic. He stood up. How many? He asked. Lyra closed her eyes for a second. 3, she replied. Hunters. Elite. Ethan nodded. Good, he said. That means they're scared. Lyra looked at him in surprise. Elite hunters are not afraid, she said. They are, Ethan replied. They just don't know it yet. He moved fast. He shut the curtains. He lowered the heater. He pulled open a floor panel near the wall. Lyra watched, confused. What are you doing? She asked. Fixing machines teaches you one thing. Ethan said. Nothing works exactly as designed. He pulled out a small toolbox. Inside were wires, metal strips, old sensors, and a cracked power cell. Lyra stared. You plan to fight them with scrap? She asked. Ethan smiled without humor. No, he said. I plan to confuse them. The wall behind them vibrated. A soft hum passed through the room. Lyra stiffened. They are scanning, she whispered. Looking for my energy. Ethan slapped a sensor onto the heater and twisted 2 wires together. The heater flared. Energy spiked. Then dropped. Then spiked again. Outside the room, a hunter paused. The scanner showed multiple signals. Unstable. Unclear. That shouldn't be possible, one hunter said quietly. Inside, Ethan moved again. He placed Lyra behind the thick metal desk. Stay low, he whispered. No glowing, no talking. Lyra hesitated. They will kill you, she said. Ethan looked at her. Humans have been dying since the day we were born, he said. We still stand up. A sharp metallic sound cut through the hallway. The door began to melt. Alien plasma. Lyra's heart raced. They are forcing entry. she said. Ethan grabbed a fire suppression canister from the wall and kicked it toward the door. On my signal, he said. The door burst open. Cold air rushed in. 3 tall figures stepped through the smoke. Their armor was smooth and dark, glowing with faint blue lines. Alien hunters. One of them raised a weapon. Ethan slammed the canister valve open. White foam exploded into the room. The foam froze instantly in the cold air, filling the space with thick fog. The hunter's scanners screamed with false data. Vision blocked. Energy unstable. Target split. Ethan moved through the fog like a shadow. He pulled a metal strip from his pocket and jammed it into an exposed joint on the nearest hunter's armor. The suit sparked. The hunter screamed, not loud but shocked. No human should be that fast, one hunter said. Ethan ducked as plasma burned the wall above his head. He rolled, grabbed a loose cable, and yanked. The room lights died. Emergency red glow returned. Lyra watched from behind the desk. Her breath caught. He wasn't strong like them. He wasn't armed like them. But he moved with purpose. With refusal. One hunter turned toward Lyra's hiding place. Ethan stepped between them. Wrong direction, he said. The hunter struck him. Ethan flew back into the wall. Pain exploded through his chest. Lyra screamed, "Ethan!" He pushed himself up, blood on his lip. Still standing, he said. The hunter hesitated. That hesitation cost it everything. Ethan triggered the emergency vent release. The room pressure dropped instantly. The hunters staggered. Their armor was built for control, not chaos. Ethan grabbed a shock tool from the floor and slammed it into the lead hunter's helmet. The lights in the armor went dark. The other 2 retreated, dragging their fallen unit. "This is not over," one of them said coldly. "The human interferes." "Yes," Ethan replied. "That's what we do." They vanished into the hallway. Silence returned. Ethan collapsed onto the bed. Lyra ran to him. "You are injured," she said, hands glowing faintly as she checked. "Him. Live," Ethan said through clenched teeth. Lyra looked at him with something new in her eyes. Not fear, not gratitude, respect. "My people believe humans are weak," she said softly. "I will correct them." She looked toward the door. "They will report this," she added. "You are now a problem to them." Ethan smiled tiredly. "Good," he said. "I hate being ignored." Outside the colony, alien command ships adjusted. Their threat level: human. Ethan Cole status: unexpected resistance threat classification: rising, and for the first time, humanity was noticed. Ethan woke up in pain. Every breath hurt. His chest felt heavy, like something was pressing down on it. The room smelled of burned metal and cold air. For a moment, he thought he was alone. Then he heard Lyra's voice. "Do not move," she said gently. "Your ribs are cracked." Ethan opened his eyes. Lyra was kneeling beside the bed. Her hands glowed with soft silver light, moving slowly over his chest. The light felt warm, calming. "You're healing me?" Ethan asked. "Yes," Lyra replied. "I should have done this sooner." Ethan frowned. "You said your energy was low," he sighed. "It was," Lyra answered. "But you risked your life. That changes things." Ethan tried to sit up. "Changes what?" he asked. Lyra stopped for a long moment. She said nothing. Then the silver light around her grew brighter. The air in the room shifted. Ethan felt pressure, like the room itself was listening. "My name is not just Lyra," she said. "It is Lyravation." Ethan blinked. "That sounds important," he said. "It is," Lyra replied. "Among my people, only one group carries a second name." She stood. The disguise faded. Her human form dissolved. Like mist, what stood before Ethan was taller, stronger, glowing with controlled power. Silver patterns ran across her skin. Her eyes shone like stars. Ethan stared. "Your royalty," he said quietly. Lyra nodded. "A high commander," she said. leader of a Velari war fleet. Ethan let out a slow breath, so the girl freezing. In my room, he said. Was never weak, Lyra finished. Only unwilling. Ethan laughed softly. All this trouble, he said, because you refused to kill us. Lyra looked at him. Yes, she said. Because humans fight differently. She moved to the window and looked out at the colony. My people conquer through fear, she continued. They obey strength. But last night, you stood between me and 3 hunters with nothing but broken tools. Ethan shrugged carefully. Didn't feel heroic, he said. That is why it mattered. Lyra replied. She turned back to him. By Velari law, she said, any being who protects a high commander without knowing her rank earns the right of chosen shield. Ethan raised an eyebrow. That sounds expensive, he said. It is, Lyra answered. It makes you untouchable under Velari law. A sharp alert sounded in the room. Colony broadcast. Lyra's eyes narrowed. They are calling an emergency council, she said. My people have contacted your leaders. The screen on the wall activated. Human officials appeared, tense and angry. A tall Velari figure filled the other half of the screen. Return the commander, the alien demanded. The human interfered unlawfully. Lyra stepped forward. No, she said calmly. The Velari figure froze. You speak out of place, it said. Lyra's voice grew colder. I speak as your commander, she replied. And I order you to stand down. Gasps filled the human side of the call. The Velari figure hesitated. You chose a human over your fleet, it said. Lyra looked at Ethan. I chose someone who understands loyalty, she said. She turned back to the screen. Touch this colony again, she said, and I will expose every Velari operation hidden in human space. Silence followed. Then the Velari figure bowed slightly. As you command, it said. The screen went dark. Ethan stared. So, we're safe? He asked. For now, Lyra said. She walked back to him. My people will not forget this, she added. Neither will yours. Ethan looked at her. You didn't have to protect me like that, he said. Lyra smiled softly. You protected me first, she replied. She placed her hand over his heart. In Velari culture, she said, that creates a bond stronger than command. Outside, the alien ship slowly changed course. Human leaders sat in stunned silence. One truth had become clear. Humans were no longer invisible, and one human, broken and bleeding, had changed everything. The colony woke to strange news. Alien ships were still in orbit, but they were not attacking. They were waiting. Humans gathered in the central hall. Engineers, workers, families, no weapons, no armor, just people. Ethan stood among them, ribs still aching. Lyra stood at his side, no longer hiding her true form. Whispers spread through the crowd. She's an alien. She's royalty. She's with him. Ethan felt every eye on them. Lyra stepped forward. Her voice carried without effort. I am Lyra Vaishen, she said. High Commander of the Velari. Fear moved through the hall. She raised one hand. I did not come to conquer, she continued. I came to speak the truth. Above the hall, the large screen activated. VLI leaders appeared. Cold, sharp, powerful. You disgrace your rank, one of them said. You protect humans. Lyra did not bow. No, she replied. I honor it. She gestured toward the crowd. These humans live on worlds that fight them every day, she said. They break, heal, and stand again. The Velari leader laughed. They are weak, it said. They hide behind rules and feelings. Lyra turned to Ethan. Tell them, she said. Ethan stepped forward. He did not shout. He did not threaten. We are weak, he said simply. That's why we learned to stand together. The room was silent. We don't live long, Ethan continued. So we protect what time we have. We don't rule by fear. We build, we fix, we care. He looked up at the screen. You wanted obedience, he said. We offer partnership. The Velari leaders hesitated. They had expected fear. They had expected surrender. They did not understand this. Lyra spoke again. By Velari law, she said, the one called Ethan Cole is my chosen shield. Gasps filled the hall. That law is ancient, a Velari leader said. So is honor. Lyra replied. She turned back to the humans. My people see strength only in dominance, she said. But you showed me another kind. She placed her hand over her chest. Strength that chooses to protect. The alien ships above the colony shifted position. Weapons powered down. One by one. Human command officers exchanged looks. A human general stepped forward. Then let history record this. He said. Today, humans did not kneel. The Velari screen went dark. Moments later, a new signal arrived. Velari fleet status. Withdrawal confirmed. Cheers filled the hall. Some humans cried. Some laughed. Ethan felt his knees weaken. Lyra steadied him. You did this, he said. Lyra shook her head. No, she replied. We did. She looked at the people around them. My people will return, she said quietly, but not as conquerors, as watchers. Ethan nodded. Humans are used to that, he said. The universe has been watching us for a long time. Lyra smiled. Then, let it keep watching, she said. Outside. The alien ships vanished into the stars. The colony lights brightened. Life returned. Later that night, Ethan stood by the window of his room. The cold was still there. The planet had not changed, but something else had. Lyra joined him. My people will call this a mistake, she said. And humans? Ethan asked. Lyra looked at him. They will call this the day humanity was noticed. She paused. In Velari records, she added. This will be written as the moment humans became dangerous. Ethan laughed softly. Good, he said. We've been dangerous for a long time. Lyra reached out and took his hand, not as a commander, not as an alien, but as someone who chose to stay above the colony. The stars burned quietly, and somewhere in the universe, a new truth spread. Humans were not the strongest. They were not the fastest, but when it mattered most, they stood tall.